Thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Amber Grigley. First at 11, what some are calling a fight for democracy. Democratic members of the State House and Group Mad voters spent the evening rallying with hundreds of Hoosiers about Indiana Republicans' White House visit, where redistricting was one of the topics discussed. Now, tonight I was at that rally where leaders told me they refuse to leave Hoosiers in the dark on such an important decision, saying now is the time to get loud and mobilize.
It's real. It's getting really real. And at first, I don't think we really took it seriously, but we are slowly losing our rights, and our voting rights are in danger.
From the airport, they're going to sell out Indiana in exchange for political favor.
To the State House.
We won't let folks try to dictate to us. We're not country bumpkins. We're up on it. You can't bully us. If you think you're going to come to the Hoosier cafeteria and take our lunch, you got another thing coming.
Hoosiers are fired up and taking action against possible efforts to redraw Indiana's congressional districts.
Show me what democracy looks like.
Indiana Republican lawmakers left Tuesday morning to spend the day at the White House, where they had meetings about President Trump's agenda. Scripps News Group's political reporter Nathaniel Reed asked Indiana Republican Representative Jim Lucas about the meeting.
Did you talk at all about redistricting?
There was some discussion of that, and I was pleasantly surprised that they were very open-minded. He gave us some details that I was unaware of before, things that are going on around the country in some Republican states, some Democrat states, and that information was very helpful, very eye-opening for me and several others in the room. So I thought that alone right there was worth the trip.
Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, I think what's being forced on us potentially with the redistricting and gerrymandering from the powers that be in Washington is just not something I think Hoosiers want.
7 out of 9 congressional seats are filled by Republicans. Through redistricting, Indiana could end up losing one or even both of the Democratic seats, one of which is occupied by Congressman Andre Carson.
I think it's unfortunate. I think what we're seeing is an assault on our democracy. My hope is that my Republican friends, most of them don't want this. I want them to be bolder. I want them to overlook this paper tiger of these threats of being primaried.
As hundreds filled Orr Plaza, leaders made it clear that they won't give up. And now is the time for Hoosiers to stand up.
Democracy that we've feared. It's here. It's happening. It's happening right now. This may be our last chance. I beg of you, please act now. Do something.
So far, every GOP member of Indiana's delegation in the House and Senate has come out in favor of redistricting. But ultimately, that decision comes down to state legislators. Governor Mike Braun has not shut down the possibility of calling a special session to redraw congressional maps if the effort gets enough support. Earlier this evening, Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita expressed his support for redistricting in Indiana. Rokita released a statement where he claimed the 2020 census was flawed because he said it counted millions of undocumented immigrants in states like California. He said that inflated congressional representation and diluted the voices of Hoosiers and American citizens. Rokita said for that reason, he supports the move to redistrict Indiana's federal congressional seats and will defend the General Assembly if state lawmakers pass new maps. Redistricting continues to be a major topic in states like Texas and California, where some efforts have moved forward. Now, last week, the Texas House of Representatives passed a Republican favorite congressional map, which could flip 5 districts red for the 2026 midterm elections. And as a response to their efforts, California lawmakers introduced their own new maps favoring Democrats. The California plan would need to be approved by voters. California Republicans are asking the state's Supreme Court to stop the effort.